Being popular doesn't equal being good. There are lots of examples of people who got popular even though what they were standing for or what they came to stand for wasn't good. And the fact you are probably thinking of a name who fits the definition proves it. So what I personally think is people need to stop treating celebrities and people of influence like gods and goddesses, because they're not. We need to not confuse popularity with goodness. While talking about celebrities and popularity, I think it's important to discuss controversy, and particularly celebrities that find themselves in controversy for words they said in the past. I think it's important to make the distinction that the words used don't usually change their meanings and become offensive. They were always offensive. The only thing that does change is the majority's attitude towards these words. Let me make clear the words are just words. It's the attitude and oppressive action that comes because of these words that is the problem. I also don't believe that just because a few members of the group come forward and say that they aren't offended, that makes it alright. This is I can't be racist, I have black friends of excuses. However, being offended is going to achieve very little. I think education is important because some people don't understand the mistreatment minority groups receive. Just because it doesn't affect you on a personal basis doesn't mean it's not still out there. Nazis, the KKK, slavery, injustices of many kinds still exist. And I'm going to say it again. The words are just words. It's the genuine belief by some people that any kind of minority is less than them. The genuine belief that leads to murder, sexual assault, or abuse, slavery, torture, or any kind of torment. If it wasn't for the genuine belief that there needed to be a super race, there wouldn't have been a mass genocide. Rarity is a great example of being popular doesn't mean good, where an item is perceived to have more value because there is less of it. I'm now going to proceed to give a bit of a strange comparison, so bear with me. If you had a burner, you may choose peat or coal to burn. Therefore, these resources have a practical use and a practical value. But if you were to compare the value of peat or coal in terms of price to diamonds, you would find diamonds to have a higher value, but diamonds have a less practical value. While writing the script for this video, I came across a video that was talking about a rising trend that could become harmful if it isn't already. The trend I'm referring to is switching the word autistic to the word acoustic. When it comes to the word autistic being used as an insult, I'm against it. When it comes to neurotypical speculation of anybody's conditions, I'm largely against it. I say largely against because I didn't know I was autistic until people in my life mentioned it. Would I have figured it out eventually? I don't actually know, so all I can say is maybe. However, the way in which I found out was by people who know me kindly approaching me and bringing it up, not by some sarky person trying to use a medical term against me. Apart from one doctor who, when I was having my appendix out, apparently decided to walk around the ward loudly asking if I had learning difficulties. While I'm on this topic, I feel a need to mention my personal problems with the flaws of the sunflower batch system. If you are unaware, people who have hidden conditions can get a card and a lanyard that shows people the wearer has a hidden condition. My thoughts and personal experience with this card system has not been great. For some parts of COVID, I chose not to wear a mask because my sensitive skin and I was allowed not to. Towards the end of COVID, when mask wearing was less mandatory, I went into Tesco's to go to the toilet. I was stopped near the door by an employee for not wearing the mask. I said I have a condition. I was getting my badge out and they left. Then walking towards the exit, I was stopped again. The employee said, "Why are you not wearing a mask?" I said I have a condition. Then I said, I have autism. Then they asked to see my badge. I showed my badge and they reluctantly went away with a distrust in me. I assume. I was also mocked and harassed by school students during COVID, but that's a different story, and maybe I was partially in the wrong for that one. But I digress. Maybe this is not the best example, but my point in telling you this story is a system in which someone has to identify themselves as different to get appropriate treatment is not a good system. Another reason I bring this story up is I want to assume ignorance rather than malice. I want to assume that these people who use any word against a minority group is unaware of how difficult it can be to live a life as a member of a minority group. Unfortunately, it is seeming more and more popular to assume guilt until innocence, rather than innocence until guilt. When people assume guilt before innocence, the wrong people get hurt.